よ。
Hello. I'll be starting here in a minute. Just making sure that you all can hear me. Is the audio okay and stuff? Just making sure that you all... Let's see, my voice as well. Let's see. Lowering the music some. Probably helps if I just talk up. Is that better? Good, good, good. welcome to the stream. Tell you about the news a little bit. Okay, I'll get to that. I just want to make sure that people come in and watch. So some of the big things that I want to talk about here is that, well, I have been talking with some mesh artists to update parts of the sim, first of all, and some of these people are some pretty, well, what's a good word? Very, very professional. You know, I don't want to name drop any names, but very, very high quality mesh artists, but mesh artists are a little expensive. So I did start a little sort of Patreon thing that I wanted to plug shamelessly, but I'll get into that in a minute. But let's discuss the project really to begin with. So some of the things that I've been wanting to do for a while is update the colony a little bit. I want to add some more verticality to it. I feel like I was never really pleased with just how flat it is. It's like you can walk around on the streets, but you couldn't. Let me pan up there and show you all. If I can find it. But I wanted to add a little bit of verticality to the build, sort of like how I did the Undercity here, like how there's more than one level to walk on. I wanted to add in more, definitely more platforms, things to get on, buildings to go into, stuff like that. But that's sort of less important than the main thing that I want to bring on the mesh artists for, and that would be updating the interiors. Some of the interiors have been needing a big overhaul for quite a long while. The hospital, for example. Portions of the interior of the Colsec building, or EarthGov building. Let's see what the X-Prada base needs a facelift. The Red Tail is going to get a facelift. I'm probably going to be making Junkhound's base interior a little bit bigger because they've been asking for that. I'm probably going to be adding more to the Junktown as it needs an update. That's a big thing. So the Junktown, I want to just really expand. I feel that it needs a little bit more importance. It's a little bit lackluster when it comes to it, so that's something I definitely want to add on to. But with that said too, the last thing I want to update is the Mithari exterior as well. I think I really want to add like a big Mithari bazaar market like in front of it, like add on to what's there as well. So that's the big thing I'm going to be bringing in these mesh artists for. And again, I don't want to name the names, but there's some pretty big names, and you'll probably know who they are. Once I get them fully on board and contracted, I'll probably name drop them. But right now we haven't agreed upon anything. I've just been in talks with them, and they're definitely interested. But we haven't really set anything up from there yet, so it's still early in the planning stages. But you can take a look at some concept art for some of the things that I will be working on here. I got a little browser set up. See here. there's definitely some screenshots I want to go with. Ooh, we don't want to go to oogle.com. That's not right. Here we go. So, what I mean by, like, I definitely want to get the city layered, it's especially stuff like this. How we have here, like, multiple levels that you can go onto. I want to clutter the city a little bit more with just taller buildings that you can actually scale and get onto things. I think I did a pretty good job making, with the current sim right now, like, making something like this. But it's all sort of a visual effect, and none of it you can actually walk on. So that's definitely what I want to bring in these mesh artists to do. But the main portion that I want to have are these interiors that I mentioned. Like I said, the Chimera Hospital, the EX Prada base, the interior of the Junkhound base, the exterior of the Junk City, the exterior of the Mithari place, and the Red Tail especially. Those have been so out of date for a while. I definitely need to get those. Something I'm going to do. I think one of the first ones I'm going to work on is probably the X Prada base. Even though Red Tail needs it more. But let me show you what I'm probably going to be doing with the X Prada base. I definitely had something in mind, like from... Oh, here we go, right here. From Cowboy Bebop, when Spike goes into the Red Dragon Syndicate building, it's like a huge office building with dudes with like Uzis and suits on, and I definitely wanted to create something like that. I don't know if this browser is even going to load videos, but we'll find out in a second. It is so slow. So, while that is loading, the Exalt base from XCOM. I don't know, I've never played XCOM, which is probably surprising to a lot of you. But, so I have no idea what that is. But, let's see. That was the first result that came up. Yeah, so, oh, I think it is going to load. Yeah, so we have... I wanted to watch this with you guys because this scene's so cool, but I think really pay attention to the scene, the setting that he goes into here in a minute. Because this is exactly what I want X-Prada to not only look like, but their base to look like. So it's going to cover two things. X-Prada has been so based around the concept of the Red Dragon Syndicate since the beginning of the sim. So this is definitely the direction I want to go. But yeah, anyway, this is what their building will look like. Probably minus the Chinesey stuff, since X-Prada is not really a Chinese Yakuza type thing. They're just sort of inspired by this. But yeah, there's the exterior, so it'll be a huge office building that will be the front for the Genesis staffing building. You'll have escalators in here like this, and you know, those would be like the X-Prada guys, these fucking thugs in suits with shades and Uzis. Love it. But again, look at the background and the settings here. This is what the X-Prada base will look like. And again, it will be designed as a front. As we know, they own Genesis Staffing. Genesis Staffing is a huge, huge important megacorp in all of the colonies in ROE. In the ROE universe, whatever you want to call it. Heard. So, I mean, really, next to the EarthGov Tower, they would have like one of the biggest towers.
This way.
So they're definitely going to have something like this. Again, minus the Chinesey sort of stuff, because again, they're not Yakuza. They're sort of more akin to a space mafia. They're not really Italian either. But, yeah, it's such a great scene anyway. I'm just stuck watching it.
Vicious. He's got to be stopped.
I gotta watch it even though it's basically past the point.
Waiting for you to come back and take over.
I'm excited for the movie that they're doing with Cowboy Bebop, or some sort of Netflix thing that they announced just like recently. But the casting is just so screwed up. I don't know if any of you saw the casting, but it was stupid. It was really stupid. The characters don't look anything like what they look like,
So,
but of course, you know, they always have to get that wrong, so.
I told you before, Spike. I'm the only one who can kill you
But,
and set you free.
Let's get
Those
back on
words
topic.
apply to you as well, Vicious.
So that's what I have
Either
planned
way, it's
first,
going to end.
is the X-Prada base. So what I'll be doing is bringing this mesh artist in, who will be recreating these things. And we're doing the interiors first, then we'll probably move on to the exteriors. Let's talk for a minute about... I really don't need to talk that much about the Chimera base, even though some of you might be interested that works there. But really, it's just going to be Sci-Fi Hospital. I can't really describe it any better than that. That's basically it. I really don't... I think everybody in their head knows what that's going to be. This was definitely a more interesting example. The next one, the Red Tail Casino. So this one will be interesting. I'm just going to tell the mesh artist to straight up just make everything cool. Basically take the current one that we have and just update it to mesh and make it look nice. Because I really love the layout of the current one. But it's just so old and made out of Prem. I'm just going to say, I love this layout. Remake it in mesh. But here's the big thing, which might not be exciting to some of you, but here's the big thing. The Red Tail will have some casino games that I'm getting scripted. You will be able to go in there and play blackjack with other players and a dealer, and it will be connected to the system, and you'll be able to bet credits and everything, like game credits. It won't be Linden. That's illegal, apparently. Linden Labs doesn't want you to have any gambling, anything in Second Life, but you can gamble for credits. That'll be cool. The slot machines will be there, but they'll be redone so they actually function better under lag conditions. So yeah, so Red Tail's got some cool updates going on.
Bruh.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you know that you're on the live stream, right?
I mean, you want me in here, don't you? Eh.
Oh, sure.
I also can't find the live stream.
Oh, let me link you. So, anyway. Yeah, if I'm quiet, it's because I'm not activating. I'm just talking directly into YouTube, so if you want to listen to me, you can just bring up the page. I linked it to you, by the way. So I have a message already. Bonnie is asking me, how will that work with the current base in the Undercity? I think they're referring to when I was talking about the EXP base a minute ago. So basically the tower, the X-Prada tower would be so large that it would have subfloors. It would go underground to the Undercity floors. It would just be a mega structure that pans through the different plates and parts of the city. So they would have both an upper city entrance and an undercity entrance, if that answers the question, Bonnie. So back to I keep going off on different tangents, and I wanted to keep this a little organized and focused. So again, the red tail's getting updated and meshed. The Chimera base is getting updated and meshed. All of the interiors are probably going to get updated and meshed. And then once throughout this year, it'll take a little while. And it's going to need a lot of money. And one of the main reasons I wanted to bring up the live stream today is to show you guys what I had planned, because I do need help with it. This mesh artist is very expensive. He's worth it, but I did open up sort of a Patreon type thing to collect funds for it. It's not required, but if you want to donate, I have to shamelessly plug it because I will need the help. I do ROE out of my own pocket to give it to you guys. Your guys' donations help me. When you guys donate, it gets these things done a lot faster. Otherwise, you have to wait for me to get a paycheck and to afford these mesh artists, and it could take months and months. That's why when I was doing the current build that we installed last year with Sky, I had to do in payments because I couldn't afford $2,000 all at once. That's a lot of money. And that's why it took so long. It took over a year just to build the wasteland, and then like almost another year just to do the upper city. If you're able to donate, and you can, it makes this go along a lot faster because I don't have to pull this money out of my own pocket. Now the thing is with Patreon, I'm not really doing a Patreon thing. I don't have prizes to give. It's just a purely donation thing. However, if you donate, I will have your name and I will write it down, and I will look into finding some type of prize or something to accommodate you with, such as I was thinking about doing my special rentals again, where donators would get VIP rentals, but I really want to avoid getting into the pay to win stuff. I don't want to give people items or special titles or things that give stats to people who donate, because that's just not fair to the people who play this game. I want ROE to be free for everybody, and for everybody to have an equal footing on ROE. And just because you donate money, it shouldn't get you ahead of anybody else. So remember that. So donators will get something, but not stats or any type of pay-to-win thing. If you would like to donate, and I'm sorry to talk, I know nobody wants to hear, please donate to me, I need your money, blah, blah, blah. But I gotta shamelessly plug this because I want to get this project done actually this year, and I'm sure that you guys would like to have it. It benefits you. I'm doing this for you. Whether or not you donate, it's going to get done. It's just going to get done a lot quicker if you guys help out. So if you guys head over to the link that I'm going to put in chat, in the YouTube chat right here, you can donate there. If you feel so inclined. You don't have to. I would really appreciate it. The sim would really appreciate it, and you'll have a better sim for doing it. Now that my horrible my horrible "hey, can I have your money" speech is over, we can get back on to talking about what else is planned. There's some other things I want to do. I want to use the money that I get from the donations to buy more things for you guys, such as uniforms. I think Colsec wants a better, newer uniform, but I really don't like the idea of only buying things for Colsec. I think a lot of groups could have some cool stuff as well. I want to buy something for Marshals. I want to buy... there's groups that don't have uniforms. I think I want to get some cool armor for the pirates. I want to get some type of thing for the Mithari. I want to get something for every group. I don't want to leave any group out. Everybody should get something special. And that's another thing that your money would be going to. Let me see here. I have some concept art that I used to have for the EarthGov armor that I'm going to be using. Sorry, that's my phone going off. Let's see if I can find that concept armor. Of course, you know, it's never where I want it. Let me see here. I have just a massive folder of ROE stuff that you can't see on my screen. Oh gosh, where did I put that concept art? Well, I can't find it. So that sucks. Hold on, I'm gonna try looking one more time. I literally just had this on my desktop the other day, and now I don't know where it is, and I'm kind of embarrassed now. I know it's here. But really, the armor that I'm going with is no different than the one that they currently have. It would just be updated to fit them better. That's all that I was really going to talk about. Oh, here it is. I found it. Yay. So, you know, I had this back in 2016. This was the original armor that we went with. And no, I didn't draw this. I got this from a site and then just made some modifications on how I wanted to do it. Anyway, this is already the current armor that they have. This was the original concept art that they have right now. However, I feel that it could be done better. I'll probably go back to the mesh artist that did this, their current set, and since he's gotten better since this, and ask him to do it again. Just the same armor, but better. More modular, fits better, because I get a lot of complaints from EarthGov all the time. Oh, this doesn't fit right. I can't get it to fit on me. What do? Stuff like that. So, or I might just go with a different mesh artist. I was thinking about talking to Kelkith. For those that know him, he's fantastic at doing armor. He released a set recently that's really, really great. Actually, I think I can bring it up on the marketplace. Let me find it. Yeah, I think some of you know Kelkith, but if you're not familiar with his work, let me just show you if I can get my camera out of the wall. Wow, it's really stuck in there. I hate panning around my Simpson. Oh my goodness. Where is my camera? What is my camera doing right now? There we go. Okay. Let's bring his stuff up on here. I can show you an example of his work and what we would be getting. This guy's fantastic. I've been working with. I mean, he meshed some of the stuff that's in the background right now. He did this back here. He meshed a lot of the buildings for me. If it wasn't for him, ROE probably wouldn't have been possible. He's helped me over the years for a long time. But let's see if he comes up with this. No, I'm just going to type his name in. Yeah, he made this armor recently, and you guys would probably be more familiar with the armor than his name for those that don't know him. But he makes fantastic stuff. So I'm talking to him about getting some armor made for the sim. But yeah, so I got some really great mesh artists that I've been in talks to. But again, all this costs money. If you guys can donate to anything, it would help get this done a lot quicker. Otherwise, I have to do payments because I'm paying for this out of my own pocket. Again, I don't mean to keep saying that, but it helps. But I sort of wanted to show you what we would be doing so you know where the money's going to. Let's see, what else are we doing? On top of this, the money also helps go to my scripters. As you guys know, Sethos does a lot of scripting for me. Some of you might know him as Firefox. I want to be able to pay him because he's just put up with so much of our bullshit on a daily basis. Fixing stuff for it. He just deserves it. I want to be able to give the money to him and the other people that work on my sim. But there's an advantage to that. I've been in talks with Sethos to redo the current system so it's a little bit more stable, so it's a little bit quicker, so it lags a little bit less. Move it more onto the to the website rather than the just in game. That sort of takes the lag off of the sim and puts it onto a server. So our sim will run a little bit better. I'm sure when you guys are walking around, you would notice it's a little bit laggy. So I've been talking to him about that and doing that over this year. And we want to do some other projects that I really want to pay him to do. And I think that you guys will really like this one. I spoke about it in the last live stream, but I wasn't able to show it because I wasn't aware that my monitor was not being broadcasted, but this time I came prepared with my handy dandy screen here, so now I can show you what I'm talking about. So what's in store for ROE is once we get Sethos paid up, we can go ahead with some ease of what's the word? I think it's ease of life or just quality of life features for ROE. And one of those things is equipping. I want to move away from text commands to equip things. I'll keep them in, but I want you to be able to log onto the website and click and drag your armor into your equipment slots, like a paper doll. For those of you who don't know what a paper doll is, if any of you are familiar with the... Oh, that's definitely not it. Ignore that. With the Diablo series, it works a lot like that. You have... This is what I brought up on the screen. You're going to have your equipment on one side, and you can literally click and drag and put it on your character. All from the website, and manage your entire inventory in an inventory screen like that. It's called a paper doll system. I don't know why it's called that. I guess because it shows a little representation of your character on the side there, and you sort of drag stuff onto it like a paper doll. Anyway, but yeah, the paper doll system is definitely something that will be showing up. I don't know when, but I mean, if you guys are able to donate, I can get Sethos paid quicker and we can get it done faster. And he really deserves it because he's been doing all this stuff that he's been doing, building for me just for free out of the kindness of his heart. And I want to be able to pay him. He deserves it. But let's also talk about what else is there. You want not just being able to click and drag your armor and equipment around, but there will be better features on the website as well. I want to bring in a web design artist to come in and sort of make it more visual. Right now it's sort of just a it's sort of just text commands right now. It's a very bare website, so I want to spruce that up. Pets are another big thing I want to update. Right now they're just sort of broken because they're in between the updates. Vehicles is another thing I want to be able to update. Equipping things onto vehicles, and again, having a paper doll for your vehicles to drag your equipment onto it. I want to be able to make things more like a simulator, where you have, say for example, your character might have to eat, or they get debuffs. Your vehicle, when you use it in battle, it has to have maintenance, and you have to rely on other people in the sim. You know, maybe a mechanic that does the maintenance, and you know, sort of bring the whole idea of the society system back as well. Yeah, those are the major things that I want to do to the system. I know that I'm forgetting something, but the major thing is the paper doll anyway. The paper doll will just make things... Oh, I remember what it was. So along with the paper doll, there will be smart slots. So like you have in Diablo. If anybody's played Diablo, or really any RPG with a paper doll system like this, there's been times where, you know, you have a hand slot, you have a head slot, you have a, you know, your other hand slot, you have your feet, your chest slot, whatever. So you will not, when this update comes out, you will no longer have an equipped, just a basic equipped folder. Instead, what you'll have is hand, chest, head, yada yada yada. If there's something in that slot that's equipped and you try to put something in it, or something that doesn't belong there, like if it's a feet slot item only, it'll tell you, hey, this doesn't go there, or hey, there's already something in the slot. You have to take this off. So it'll sort of be a smart slot system. You won't be able to, you know, mess up your builds anymore. There's been a lot of, you know, I've seen a lot of fights just come out of, hey, you can't equip that. Oh, yes, I can. Really? Well, show me. Like, show me your build. Stuff like I've seen people argue over that kind of stuff. This just idiot proofs the system. You literally can't screw up your build now. If you can't equip it, it'll tell you you can't equip that. It'll also auto-calculate your stats. We already have that working, essentially, right now. But when you go on to the website and view your paper doll here, it'll show you what your stats are, and you can print out or just look at your character sheet from now on. It'll show you, hey, this is your agility. This is your, you know, whatever the stat may be. So you'll have a character sheet, a paper doll to equip yourself with, and smart slots. This is all going on to the website. And again, to plug it, your donations, if you decide to, will make this happen quicker. I think that's it for about... I think that's about it for news. That's really all that I have to announce. I can move to a... I'll recap really quick before I go to the question and answer thing, just in case anybody missed it, but I mean, I don't know why I'd need to, because you can just rewind the video. So basically we're going to have, I need some donations because we need some money coming in. ROE's doing fine financially, but the donations help move things quicker. ROE's not going anywhere, so don't worry about that. This isn't about, oh, Melna's running out of money, blah, blah, blah. I got plenty to keep these sims alive for a long time. I want to get this stuff done this year. I'm already in talks with these mesh artists. I want to be able to pay them now, get it done, and so you guys can reap the rewards sooner. I mean, I would pay to have more stuff in the sim. So again, recapping. Going to be bringing in a professional mesh artist to do the interior of the Chimera base, the Red Tail. Going to add games like Blackjack to the Red Tail. Going to be updating the X-Prada base interior. Going to be updating the Junkhound exterior and interior. Going to be updating the Mithari exterior. And then finally, going to be getting our professional mesh artists to make some renovations to the main city. And probably to the wasteland, if there's anything left over. Next is getting money through these donations to our scripters to make the paper doll system happen. The paper doll system, like I was just explaining, you can click and drag your equipment onto yourself, into your head slot or your chest slot or whatever from the website. You don't have to type in text commands. You can visually see what you're doing by clicking and dragging armor and stuff onto your character, making the website easier to use. Getting the smart slots that can detect what your stats are and prevent you from making an error in equipping stuff. And again, the donations help move that along a lot faster. Otherwise, you're just going to have to wait for however long it takes for me to save up money to get some of this stuff. So that's a recap. I'm going to move on to a question and answer period. I promised you guys that. What would you guys like to ask? If you want to ask me something, hop into the channel that I'm in right now. I'm in the private one channel on my Discord. You can hop right in. I'll take your questions live. If you don't want to have your voice on a live stream, because I understand it's sort of, you're being recorded and that's sort of nervous. You can just, if you're watching the live stream, type in the chat or ping me. You could IM me directly on Discord if you're even more shy than that. Whatever you do, that would be great. I can't look in every Discord channel, so if you're tagging me in one of the Discord channels, don't do that. Just IM me directly in Discord, or just type in the YouTube chat on the side of the screen there if you want to ask a question. So I will take a few minutes to see if anybody has any questions. Go right ahead. I don't think many people do, but we'll see if we get one. Does anybody have anything they want to ask, want to know about anything? It doesn't have to be about the build or the new stuff or the donations. You can ask me stuff about what are the developers doing with balancing stuff. You can ask me stuff about my personal life. Really, I might not answer, but you can ask me stuff, what I'm up to, what I'm doing. You can ask me anything. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead. I'm waiting. If nothing comes up within the next, 5 minutes, that will be the end of the stream. And I'll thank you all for coming. I'm not seeing anything yet. What about you guys? You guys have any questions that you want to ask?
That was really weird. No, I don't have any questions at the moment.
Somebody asks, what's my favorite type of weapon? I did say that they could ask me anything. My favorite type of weapon? I was always really... Oh goodness, that's hard. I always really liked that electro mace that Hawk Girl has from the Justice League cartoon. That was always so cool. And Hextail is here. Hextail, I hope that you realize you're on the live stream right now. Do you want to come in here and talk?
I thought I'd pop in at least.
Yeah, so do you... Oh, wait, hold on. Can we get new tunnels for PDI? Are you talking about the green ones or just the other ones, the PDI ones? If I'm going through and updating the sim builds anyway, I might as well do the PDI tunnels because they are so old. So yeah, I'd probably redo them. I don't know when. They would be really low on my priority list because I want to get some of those other builds done first, and they look fine enough right now. I mean, the X-Prada base and the Red Tail just so desperately needs the update really bad. So, but yeah, I could probably see myself doing an update to the PDI system. That's another big thing is I wanted to update the whole entire mining system completely. I think like
Yes,
Hextail's
please.
right here. He could probably talk a little bit about how we've been wanting to update that for a while. Hextail, do you have anything to say about that?
Nothing I can really confirm too much, as it's still being talked over by a lot of the devs. There are some ideas on the line and kind of being planned out. Nothing is in stone yet, though. We are narrowing things down a lot, however.
Yeah, that's another big thing, is that we have been, we had some complaints earlier this year that our admins were sort of ignoring what is said in the forums, or like we'll say, hey, go post on the forums if you have a problem with X, Y, or Z, and people would just take that, oh, that's just a shirk off. That's just them, giving us the cold shoulder, because everybody knows that's just where they go to, like throw away ideas. It's not true. Ever since that complaint came in, we've had people come in and literally whose job it is to just read stuff off of that forum and post it in the admin chat, and then we discuss it. So we've been in talks about updating the PDI mining system for a long time. And other things. If you guys think that it's futile to post things on the forums, you are 100% wrong. We actually do read it. And sometimes we do reply to it. Even if we don't reply, that doesn't mean that we didn't read it. The next question is, hey Melna, I'm still on the book, though I've been dragging my feet. Have you been giving any more thought to the ROE lore that I would need to consider? Maybe, like, I've been really updating the Wikipedia lately with some of my lore masters. I got together with some people. I got together with Hextail and Rosie, who's in my sim, for those of you that know them, who I've made a lore master. And they've sort of just been taking things and meeting with people and updating the Wikipedia massively. So if you want to get anything off the Wikipedia, if you want to get any lore, go to the Wikipedia or just IM me. Like, if you IM me or Hextail, we will literally talk your ear off about the lore for like hours. A lot of people are afraid to IM me and talk, and you really shouldn't. I love talking about the lore. It's probably one of my favorite things to do. Hextail, do you want to say anything on that topic? I know you're sort of...
We have been going through a lot as of late, trying to get a lot of storylines and stuff going. We had for a long time a swing on tech storylines. I know we just recently had a lot of Magicka ones again, but we do kind of swing back and forth, trying to keep both in even kind of balance, because we do have aspects of both cases in ROE. We have a mix of sci-fi, we have a mix of fantasy. We tend to bring in a lot of fiction from all kind of tiers and levels here. So we have been working on things. We've been trying to flesh out a lot of stuff that was kind of nebulous beforehand. We're not going to explain everything, because that kind of takes the mystery out of a lot of stuff. But we have been working on answering and kind of filling in a lot of spots that were a bit low in detail prior. Like one of the things I've been working with Melna has been extended lore for other planets, other areas, or even just other sections of Earth that don't tend to get much love. Like, a lot of people like to think we have no oceans in ROE, but we do have a large amount of water, just not much out there, except for certain little details that will be coming up in the next couple months, I'd say.
Yeah, all of the Earth page on the Wikipedia is actually one of the ones that's brand new and completed, and there is a map and there are oceans. I'm looking at, I have it live up on the stream right now. This is what the Earth looks like. There's some detailed information on there, and then there's stuff that's sort of outdated, and you'll see at the top of the page that it's a work in progress. So, if you're confused, like, hey, is this relevant or is this accurate? Just ask.
Am I clear to drop a little bit of detail about one watery subsection you were talking about? This is like a little teaser.
Okay.
One particular city me and you brought up about a couple weeks ago.
Sorry, what was that?
Am I okay to kind of leave a little bit of a breadcrumb trail, a little bit of a hint of a storyline that might be coming up pretty soon here?
Yeah, by all means, go ahead.
One of the things we've pushed here for ROE for a very long time has been a case where a lot of rumors and stuff are actually true in some section or some fashion. You know, how we have the Norse gods were actually, you know, Virgon parties at some point coming down to influence.
Well, let me correct you. I don't want to say just rumors. Like, ROE, it's more like all of the myths and legends, like the Bigfoot myth, or like all the cryptids, stuff like that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. One particular location, because there are also, of course, there's rumors of location. One particular big one, Atlantis. That's one that is going to be coming up soon enough here. I'm not going to give away too many details of it, but expect some water content in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, to elaborate a little bit, ROE sort of takes place in a universe where, like, a lot of the urban legends and, like, you know, cryptids and, like, ancient alien theories, sort of like the Secret World, are all true. But some of them are just covered up. For example, the whole Area 51 Roswell incident was actually the Mythari's first expedition landing on the Earth. It's always somehow tied in. Or, you know, like Hextail said, the whole Norse gods thing was actually the Virgon coming down and ancient humans just perceiving their advanced technology as godlike, to give you an example. But we went off on a tangent. So there was a couple other questions. Syrian asks, are there any ideas to make things easier for vehicle combat? Is there any plans to revise, rebuild, or redo vehicles for combat? Currently, they don't have much of a use. Yes. As I said in the scripting department, when I was plugging, you know, like, hey, can you donate because I want to put more money into giving my scripters to do things, I was talking about one of the things that I wanted to get them to do beyond the paper doll system was vehicles and pets. And pets would sort of work in the same way, where when you get a pet or a vehicle in the system, you would get a script. Like, the system would literally give you a script, and you can drop it into a vehicle or drop it into an item to represent your pet, and then it would become that thing. Just like it worked. If any of you are familiar with our previous pet system, it would work just like that. You just drop the script in, and then it's a pet, or it's a vehicle. And those would be able to be tied into the system. Yeah?
I actually did have a question, now that I think about it, regarding the map of Earth.
Yeah, let me bring it up on the stream. So,
sorry.
Okay, go ahead.
The red sections that are marked unfinished colonies, are we ever going to do any kind of story where a new colony is built or a new colony is opened? Just like, not necessarily of us going to visit that colony, but like a background news feed kind of thing. Like, oh, X colony was finished today.
I mean, I might. It's definitely possible. Well, to answer your question, not in a red sector. Red sectors are unfinished colonies, but in later lore, I think I changed them to
dead sectors.
They're either dead sectors, they're unfinished colonies, or they are like absolute danger zones. Like, there is so much moon debris raining in there, it's not good. But the yellow sectors are also danger zones too. However, I've done that before too. Like, on the map right now, I have Neo Horizon made. It was originally just Horizon. That was our first sim, and now they're sort of rebuilding it, and it's called Neo Horizon. Don Collin, who's playing Final Fantasy VII?
Oh shit, that's my roommate. Sorry.
Good lord. Don Colony.
Our TV's loud.
Don Colony was sort of half destroyed, and it's sort of Neo Dawn right now. So, but yeah, like, I might have plans to do that. They're not on my list currently, but.
Mic off.
And then my other question was, when we talk about redesigning the sim and paying someone to remake the sim, are we going to prioritize the Wastelands first, or what's going to be like the first kind of project? What do we feel like needs it the most?
As I said, the interiors would come first because I think they need them more. Then we'll see how that pans out. If I like what the mesh artist brings, I will ask him to do more. If I don't, or I'm not completely pleased with it, which, considering who I've been talking to, who again I won't name, I might go with a different mesh artist and get them to do it. The wastelands would probably come first over the main portion of the city, though.
And then my last question would be, when if or when we redesign the wastelands, have you thought about changing it to something that's not a wasteland? Because I heard an idea. Someone mentioned the wastelands being a dark sector or a dark city outside the gates.
There are. That's such an interesting idea. There are actually. I can bring up that article. I have that article already brought up on the live stream. There are dark cities that are in ROE. I just read this. Before the gate incident occurred, Earth was populated with plenty of cities and was mostly like the Earth that we know in the real world. After the incident, these cities were destroyed by massive earthquakes or were eradicated by pieces of the moon falling to Earth. These dark cities mostly reside in red sectors, and they are the ruins of what Earth once was. These cities are left mostly completely abandoned or populated by mutants or the homeless, and they're very or dangerous clans or gangs of raiders, whatever, that just live in there. And if any of you have seen the movie, oh, there's some pictures of one here. Here's a dark city. If any of you have seen the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith in it, that's a great example of what a dark city would be. It's literally just the ruins of abandoned cities. I would definitely consider putting that in a wasteland, out in the wasteland instead of what we have out there. That would definitely be something I could do. Yeah,
That was
I'd
it
be
for
behind
me.
that as well.
Sorry, what?
I said I'd be behind that as well.
Oh yeah, I definitely probably would add some abandoned buildings out to the wasteland. I do want to keep the wasteland build. Like, it doesn't have to be the current one, but like the theme, because that sort of gives junk hounds the theme. You sort of take the wasteland away, they sort of lose that. But you know, they could always just be scavengers in a. I would definitely have some like just toppled skyscrapers. Again, on stream is another good picture of what a dark city would be. And they get the name Dark City just because it's not dark magic or anything. It's just like there's no lights. It's literally just dark.
They're dark. They're lifeless. Yeah, it's like a dark zone basically.
Yep. Let me see if there's any questions. Is there ever going to be orbital or deep space environment or something like the asteroid belt? Oh, goodness. That is a question. I want there to be something like that. Because I had plans when the vehicle scripts are up and running to have the fleet ships working, and you could take the fleet ships into the space area. Sort of how I designed that is there would be a space station that your character would stand in, and when you get into the fleet ship, it would sort of be a really teeny tiny fleet ship, like that you would remote control from your avatar's position from the station. But I would use teeny tiny spaceships to make the space seem more expansive, and you could fly around in there, do roleplay fleet battles, mine moon rocks, asteroids, stuff like that. That's a little bit out of my scope right now. I mean, I have to raise the money just to get some of these new meshes and to pay the scripters to start doing the essentials like the paper doll system I was describing earlier. And again, that's not going to get done anytime soon unless you guys are able to donate to me. I'm going to post that one more time. I hate to keep plugging it. I know it's sort of annoying, but if you guys got anything to spare, even $1, it goes in to the sim, doesn't go to me. It goes directly to my scripter and directly to my meshed artist to get you guys more stuff. That it's for you. You are making an investment in the sim. I'm posting the link in the chat to the in the YouTube chat for the stream. Please consider it. It will help this go way quicker. I love talking about these ideas and I want to do them, but they ain't gonna get done until we have the money to do it. And you know, I have the money to pay for the Sims and stuff, but I don't have the money to just shell out for new meshes and all the stuff that we want to do right currently. So I need your guys' help. This is one of the main reasons I wanted to stream. I need the help. Help me to help you. Let's see if there's any questions. Anything else? Is there anything else that you guys want to ask? Hextail? Anybody, like, not just Hextail, but I don't know why I just name dropped Hextail, but if you guys got questions, go ahead. If you guys have more questions, please type them in the chat or IM them to me directly on Discord. Or you can just pop into the channel right now. Going once. Again, you guys can ask me anything about development, about things that are going on in my life. I mean, really anything. Here's a question. Do you think it would be better to do the outside of the junk town before doing the interior of the base? I don't know. I was probably going to do the interior first because it's a little bit simpler, but I might have to do the exterior to make it sure it matches the interior. So I don't know yet. That's a very good question. Somebody just asked. Any more questions, comments, concerns? Excuse me. It's almost my bedtime. What about you guys? Do you have questions? Want to talk about anything?
No, you answered all my questions.
What about you, Hextail? I know you're always buzzing to talk about stuff. Sometimes we can't get you to shut up.
I am welcome to answer questions and stuff too, but you know, I don't actually see where any of the questions are being asked, so I can't
it's on the,
pick up any either.
If you just view the live stream, it's just the chat on the side.
Right.
Somebody asked sort of a question. ROE is great. What made you start this, if I ask? Let me show you what made me start ROE. I just have a video. Before I do that though, Shifty Swift, I do 3D stuff, but I'm not professional. Hey, if you guys are mesh artists too and you want to do stuff for me, and you don't have money but you just want to mesh stuff, do it. Oh my God. Just talk to me. Send me an IM. Let's get it done. Let me show you what started ROE.
It's not even worth trying.
It'd probably help if I typed in a .com in that URL. So ROE is a combination of things. One was the first of all, I just wanted to start an RP sim. I wanted to start a roleplay sim, and I knew that I wanted to do sci-fi because sci-fi was my favorite thing. And all the other sci-fi sims, I had just come out of Star Wars roleplay, and there was nothing really too wrong with it. I didn't really like that it was just freeform combat because people could just do Super Sith Jedi, like just jump off the wall and stuff. But it didn't really bother me, so I don't want to say that there was anything wrong with Star Wars. But I looked at it and I was just like, I want to do my own. I want to do something original. I don't want to be based off of a property. But I want to do some of the things that inspired me and what sci-fi is. So I looked at things like Blade Runner, and the movie Elysium is really what a big majority of ROE is based off of. I'll show you that in a minute. But one of the biggest things I think is there was a Blade Runner sim at one point. I don't remember what it was called, but there was a Blade Runner roleplay sim, and it had credits, and you had to go to a little job just like you do in ROE, and that's where main inspiration for it what it came from. But let me show you. This is such an obscure reference. I played this game as a kid, and it's so corny and so 90s. But if you watch this for just a second, you will see the inspirations for ROE in a minute. I mean, down to the comm links on the street corners, the way that you move around, the way that you have to use credit chips for things. This game is so corny and so silly, but I loved it. You'll see it here in a minute. I'll just show this one clip, and we'll talk about this for a second. But this was a huge inspiration for ROE. And it's just I think this was some shareware game that I got back in the 90s. I think I got it out of a cereal box. I didn't buy it. I don't know where it came from. It just showed up in my dad's computer room, and I put it in and I played it, and I was blown away. I thought it was so cool.
Use the front door.
Bow before the greatness of the crow.
Just gonna watch this for a second. It's great.
Where do you think you're going?
Oh, this is cool too. You could type your responses. This was a 90s game. That didn't stop me from typing in all sorts of immature things, but that was so cool that you could type your responses. It wasn't like any other RPG that I had seen at the time. Another big inspiration for ROE was Shadowrun. I wanted a tabletop game. I didn't want to be like the other roleplay sims where it's just freeform. I wanted an ongoing, interactive, MMO-based tabletop.
Hey, you stinking terrorist, cough up the credits or I'll blast you. Think you're... Come on. Ooh.
This part's great. So here's where you get a credit chip.
You had sex with...
Okay, she's gonna be here any second. But you said you were casual. That doesn't sound very casual.
Guys, okay, it's just sex.
I better turn off my music if I'm gonna...
Hey, thank you.
So this is the credit chips. You pick up the credit chips. I don't know why there's that stupid white border around that car, but that is a recording error. It wasn't like that in the actual game. Yeah, there's the credit chip. So that's what we have. That's basically what credits look like in ROE. I actually have a model for a credit chip. I'll get it out in a second. But here comes the part with the comm links. So this is how the comm link... Oh, wait, never mind. Hold on.
All hail the crow. Pay the crow tax or meet this.
It's basically just one of those Myst games, but with a sci-fi flair for some reason. And less puzzles. It was more just click on everything. I love this part.
Right there.
I want to have this robot somewhere in my sim. If you ever see a robot with a tuxedo, it's from this. It's from this game. He will show up eventually in this sim.
Your credit chip? Thank you. Here you are. Come again.
This is great too.
Pay your taxes.
Here's the comm link. It's crazy now, it's like we actually have stuff like this in real life. I think this game was made in like 93 or something like that.
Information. Here's the number.
So in ROE, I want to add more simulator aspects where players can do things like this, where they can call, get information, go to a spaceport, fly to someplace else, stuff like that. But I mean, Second Life is only so big, and I only have so much money to buy so many Sims. Again, if you want to donate, I can get us more stuff. Makes things easier.
Make it back to flight schedule. That flight is full. Oh yes, the Belshazzar.
This is
She's the most luxurious ship in
this
the
accent.
galaxy. Her wall-to-wall splendor is second to none. I'm talking about the famous Belshazzar luxury space liner. This little baby is 1 in a million, and she's worth a planetary fortune. And now you can hobnob with the ridiculously wealthy. Wine and dine under the stars in the dramatic restaurant dome, serving
If you
dishes
could see
fit
me
for
right
a
now,
king. Walk
I'm just
among the
shaking my
fabulous
head
treasures, unattainable at any
corniness
price.
of this.
The rarest in the galaxy.
It's
This is
so
Robot
awesome.
Leach urging you to make your reservation today.
Shall I confirm your reservation? Your credit approved. Megafaxing your ticket.
Mega faxing. Because regular fax wasn't enough. Because future. I'm smiling ear to ear. I loved this game. I love the alien writing on the passenger ticket there. I hope that you guys are spotting the inspirations.
What game was this?
Where to, Bob?
Spaceship Warlock.
Okay.
No problem.
This is another thing I wanted to have in the sim, is that you could take a taxi from one side to the other when we adopted the 2 sim build, but I think some people still want me to do that.
Here we are.
I know that Syrian was being a taxi cab driver for a while with his goblin, and it was great.
Al.
I think this is almost over because this is the part 1.
Your ticket.
If you have never
Welcome
played this game, you
aboard.
should play it once. It's so hilarious, and it gets more ridiculous. There's space pirates. I'm not gonna watch all of this, but there's space pirates later on, and they're based. That's where I base the
What's your step?
the Blood Corsairs from. You should go watch it on YouTube, like just a Let's Play of it or something if you don't feel like playing it, because it's an old game. I don't think it will run
7, 6,
very well.
4, 3, 2, 1, fire.
I like how it doesn't animate this part. It just does a fade effect. a spaceport. This is where I got the idea to make the hub a spaceport. I want to make it more like this. I'm redoing the hub actually. I've been redoing the hub. I don't know if any of you noticed it, but don't peek. I'm gonna be redoing the hub. Welcome. Oh, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that I hope that answered the question. I think that's a big inspiration on where I got the idea from ROE. Somebody made a song. I can't play it for some reason. I could play the video a second ago. Oh, anyway. Is there any more questions, comments, concerns? Anybody? Do you guys have anything?
Nope, nothing for me.
This is unrelated. Somebody asked, unrelated to ROE, but do you have any free time for video games? And if so, what is your favorite type of game? Yeah, I do. I make time for games. One of the things that I've been playing recently is Champions Online, which is a superhero MMO. It's okay. It's not City of Heroes, but it's basically the closest thing that you're gonna get. I think Hextail is gonna be triggered into going to a rant on that, but I don't know if he's there anymore.
No rants to trigger. It's a game I've played a lot myself back in the day. Have been playing much of it as of late, though.
But it's good. It's not, like I said, it's not. I keep wanting to call it Call of Heroes. It's not City of Heroes, but it is, like I said, as close as you're gonna get. My favorite type of game is probably MMOs. I really like the whole concept of multiplayer games. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to make ROE an MMO. I really don't play a lot of anything else because I really don't like the concept of playing single player games. I like playing with people, and it's like, to me, like, I like to play MMOs or multiplayers because somebody else can see what you're doing and what you're accomplishing. It's like, oh, I just beat this really awesome game. Oh yeah? Cool. So what? Like, at least with an MMO, you got somebody there to experience it with you. Another game that I've been playing, I play Overwatch quite a bit. I think everybody just hates that game now, but I've, for some reason, played it. Command and Conquer Red Alert 2 is something that I play quite a bit. It's probably the only single player game I like. Dawn of War 1, I like that. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of Champions lately. Does anybody else have any questions, stuff they want to talk about? No? Last chance, because I'm ending the stream. Syrian asks if I know the way. Probably not. I don't think I've known the way for a really long time. Well, if there's nothing else, I'm going to end here. Good talk. Really, guys, before you go, I want to say your donations would really help move the projects that I showed you along a lot quicker, and we'll have better results because of it. I know that I plugged it a bit, and nobody likes hearing, hey, can you give me money? But this money doesn't go to me. It goes to you. I really encourage you to invest in ROE because we'll get some really cool things out of it. The mesh artists that I've got are phenomenal. I hate to say this, but even better than the ones that we've had previously. I won't drop any names, but I will hint that the ones that I'm talking to worked on projects like Midgar and Star Wars Roleplay. So sims like that. But again, it all has to do with if you donate. I'll post this one more time if you guys can donate here. And I will see you all on the flip side. I'm going to be getting stuff done regardless if you guys donate or not. It's just slower if you don't. So that's it. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good evening. Oh, there's one more update before y'all go. I will be doing these live Q&As along a lot more. I'll probably start doing them like weekly or monthly or maybe every other week. So look out, subscribe to my channel and turn on the updates. That way you can see what I live stream. I'll announce it anyway. I'll annoy everybody in the Discord like, hey, I'm streaming, but you know, you can get the alerts on your phone like, hey, I'm going to do a stream at this time. Please subscribe. I don't need the subscribers for ad revenue or anything. I need the subscribers because I just want to keep you guys informed. Anyway, have a good night. Or day or whatever time it may be for you guys. Hope to see you soon. Bye.